beginning your Dungeons & Dragons movie in the wastelands of rural Wyoming, which is pretty much just Wyoming. This seems pretty effective for your bipedal prisoners, but what happens if you need to secure a centaur convict or a Lokatha? What then, Warden?
I've been in low cells. Never shared one with a female. Think I'm gonna like it.
Bad guys always gotta be rapists.
I'm gonna do this without fingers and make it a mitten.
If this movie doesn't pay off the reason why he's so good at or interested in knitting, I will riot. Adding a sit now in case of riot.
Jonathan is on the council this time. He's an Aarakocra.
We am thy freighter, purple monkey dishwasher, for dark is the suede which mows like a harvest.
This is the second year of incarceration for the crimes of grand larceny and skullduggery.
Criminal record doesn't include the super cool crime of burglarson law larceny.
Chancellor Jonathan was delayed by the storm. You may begin.
Hold up. Why weren't the rest of you delayed by this same storm? This council doesn't live in the prison, does it?
I should start by giving you some context.
Oh no! Is the whole movie going to be a flashback? How did Zia have enough time to hide the baby when the Red Wizards attacked? And if they knew where Ed lived, surely they knew he had a young daughter, right? Did they not even look for the baby? I know they're evil death-worshipping garbage, but we don't tolerate leaving a job half-finished around here. 2 sins for half-assing 2 jobs instead of whole-assing 1 job. While I'm glad to not see a bunch of black umbrellas at this funeral, I'm still going to be distracted wondering how much lighter fluid is needed to keep a corpse burning during a torrential downpour.
No cleric can repair the damage from a Red Wizard's blade.
This isn't actually true. A level 17 cleric has access to 1 level 9 spell slot, which could be used to cast True Resurrection and undo the damage of a Red Wizard's blade. However, since this isn't a film sin, but is instead a D&D lore sin, we won't place it on the regular sin counter. We will instead add a second sin counter for Dungeons & Dragons specific sins.
When Zia died, so did my devotion to my oath.
Not really much of an oath then, was it? Holy shit, they're overcooking the pasta. Turn down the heat.
We are entirely capable of deciding your case without Jonathan.
Really? Seems like a full 1/4 or 1/5 of your court is missing under mysterious circumstances.
It's intoxicating when you realize that what separates you from what you've always wanted can be as thin as a pane of glass.
Ha! Buddy, I wish a pane of glass was all that separated me from a private box and season tickets to the Nashville Predators. But there's also security, like there should have been for that amulet of invisibility you just stole. No shopkeeper would have that sitting in a window. Do you know how rare it is? Just a ring of invisibility is listed as legendary, so I don't buy a small shop even having this item, let alone it being unprotected.
You may be wondering how we could carry on this criminal lifestyle with a young girl at home. Well, we didn't leave her at home.
Including your child in your heist, aka begging child services to give you a visit.
Yes, we were thieves.
Stealing. Abandoning the woman who took both you and your daughter in during your time of greatest need.
Fly, bird, fly!
For our Cockra to use their flight speed, they cannot be wearing medium or heavy armor. And I'd argue carrying 2 people would certainly weigh more than armor. Did none of the prison guards give chase? Surely they'd have horses or sled dogs that could run Ed and Holga down, right? They're in the middle of nowhere and should have been relatively easy to recapture. I thought you only stole from people who wouldn't feel it. Did you check and make sure those horses belong to rich people? Because it looks like you just robbed a poor rural village of 2 valuable, hardworking animals.
So we take a boat down to Baldur's Gate.
Should I orgasm now? I feel the mention of a popular game series is intended to make me orgasm. It didn't work.
What if he doesn't want to talk to you?
It's not about what he wants.
Seeing as a conversation requires 2 people to consent to communication, it is at least a little about what he wants, Holga.
What's wrong with my lips?
They're too big for your face.
What?
Thinking absolutely anything at all is wrong with Chris Pine's face. Holy shit, they're riding over the opening to Prometheus. Volcano was added in post. Castle was added in post. Entire city was added in post. The cows were real, though. Maybe. Another castle added in post. Nightmare-inducing medieval large-scale vanity balloons.
Why do you look mad at me?
I don't know. Probably because you abandoned her? You didn't take her advice not to go through with the mission brought to you by a total stranger. You underestimated the danger of hitting the vault of a secret spy organization. Shall I go on? Or should I just give you the sin and keep playing this video?
Before you went off to prison, you charged me with Kira's well-being.
Are we really still doing exposition at this point in the movie?
And the money from Corin's Keep paved the way for my campaign.
Campaign? Neverwinter is a democracy? Because with the title of Lord, it certainly sounds more like a monarchy. Did you run a campaign to win the monarchy? I have so many questions. Burning a spell slot to turn your finger into ice instead of simply casting prestidigitation to cool a liquid. Come on, Safina. You know cantrips are unlimited. Now you have to take a long rest to get that slot back. You're not a warlock.
Of course, that's why you came back.
There's a whole father-daughter drama playing out here, but it's given short shrift by the movie's desire to show off the VFX budget.
You have to trust me.
You told me to trust you when you left me.
Okay, Kira, but prior to that, it's not like he's got some history of lying to you.
And I have truly come to love her as my own.
Forced adoption. I don't know if he calls it a guitar or a mandolin or a fiddle, but he just broke the shit out of it on that guy's face, right? Right?
Castle Never's tighter than Corrin's Keep, and you know what happened with that.
Yeah, we do know. You were betrayed by Forge and Safina. You actually got into the keep just fine.
Simon's a terrible sorcerer.
Did Saul of Tarsus write this line? How did Simon think that robbing everyone that attended his show was going to work out even if he wasn't caught in the act?
Don't mock me.
You mock Simon relentlessly in this movie. Don't dish it out if you can't take it, Holga.
Where can we find a druid?
I know a druid.
Of f***ing course you do.
She, however, found my lack of self-esteem unattractive.
Not your best trait.
So, FYI, self-esteem is hard to improve when people keep giving you shit about it.
That's her.
Owlbears are fun, but they're not on the list of forms a druid can take with wild shape.
What is that again? An owlbear.
You have no idea how badly I wish owlbears were f***ing real. So bad I'm gonna sin the movie for them not being real. Meanwhile, on Endor.
He also plays the lute.
Loot! That's what they call it. I should have known that. Sin for me.
And it is not the role of government to deny the people what they crave.
Forge Fitzwilliam has never been to a dry county, and it shows.
A wild shape is among us.
Oh, shit. What kind? Is it a trapezoid? An octagon? Savras help you if it's a hexagon. How does the bird know to dip, dive, and turn without being able to see the incoming arrows from behind? Oh, shit, a police force made of buckbeaks! By my count, Doric used wild shape 7 times in this chase. 7! And druids only get 2 per short rest, so my hooves are tied.
So she did become a deer.
Wait, that was all flashback? God damn, this movie's constant moving of the timeline. I can't keep up. I've had too much cheese.
The vault is protected by something called Morty Cayman's arcane seal.
You're just whipping this out now, and it's odd you had this information and our protagonist ended up running into you. Also, Morty Cayman's arcane seal is the name of a middling thrash metal band from the 80s, and you will not convince me otherwise.
It's impenetrable.
Which means it's penetrable. He's a fan! And that's saying something. Sorry. Oh, well, I'll calm now. I'm not going to care about this thing. I know you will try to make me later, but this dragonfly can pound sand.
My sweet old ho-ho.
Stealing the pet name for your wife from a mediocre hostess snack. Honey Bun was right there.
So I have 5 questions.
I don't know, that's just how it works.
Seems arbitrary.
Horned, woodland, shape-shifting mouse girl would be excellent at CinemaSins.
Did that count as a question?
Yes.
Damn it. Only answer when I talk to you, okay?
Yes.
Why did you say okay at the end of that?
I didn't.
It was a Thayan who bore the mark of Zast Tam.
Oh, so the Thayan who isn't violent is also a fish whisperer?
I do not traffic in colloquialisms.
But you clearly do traffic in candles. Holy hell! Tam looks an awful lot like Supreme Leader Snoke to me.
He unleashed the beckoning death, a spell that would consume the souls of all who beheld it.
Well, thanks for the heads up, movie, because I just beheld it and I wasn't quite ready for my soul to be consumed. Guess I better call my mom. Mom!
Sounds lovely.
Quite the opposite.
I know I was being ironic.
No, you were being sarcastic. God damn, Alanis Morissette.
I find irony is a blade that cuts he who wields it most especially.
That doesn't even make sense.
To drag your lady love back to her old life is to deprive her of her new one.
If only you had a member of your party that could speak with the dead and could ask Zia if she wanted to return.
Whatever you've heard of this place is merely a fraction of its true danger.
Why don't you just tell them about the dangers?
Should the way become too dim, you may take my hand, and I will lead you.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not taking his hand.
Why? Is this a dudes are less manly if they hold another dude's hand, even in a dark saving your life in a cave situation joke?
Keep your guard up. I don't trust this guy.
Even though he's helping us?
Didn't the last couple of people who were helping you, Ford and Safina, double-cross you?
The higher the intelligence of the prey, the more likely they are to strike.
Well, that's a little hurtful.
I'll tell you what's hurtful. Finding out the entire party made intelligence their dump stat. Use charisma or constitution next time, morons.
The hanging city of Dolben.
Why does this city need to exist? Why did they use chains and everything to create a rock platform city that dangles above volcanic magma? Isn't it hot as balls down here? Shouldn't they all be burning up in their clothes and armor?
I may have put my foot on the bridge. Didn't realize that's where it technically started.
How could you possibly know that if Bridgerton here didn't tell you? It's not on you, Simon. It's on Bridgerton.
That's not a walking stick. It's a hither-thither staff.
They should have called this movie Dungeons & Dragons Conveniences Among Thieves whenever they get stumped.
It works!
Sadly, this is the closest we'll be getting to having Portal 3. So, the sin is for Valve. Learn to count to 3, you assholes. A bunch of whatever happens and some other somethings happen, and then they find the helmet.
Trusting that you'll protect it with your very life.
Okay, but we already met several corpses that made the same promise. One guy's sword has green fire, and the other guy's sword glows gold. And I don't have any f***ing clue who has the advantage here. Look, this is a cool fight. I respect that it's not cut to pieces like a Marvel battle, but what exactly does the glowing attribute on each of these swords do besides look cool? We see Zank get burned here, but then he continues on as if the sword that previously cut down half a dozen guards in Neverwinter is suddenly useless. Rule of cool will only get you so far, D&D movie. Tell me what stuff does.
We must flee.
Why? You killed them all.
It is no simple feat to kill that which is already dead.
Then why did you bother fighting them in the first place? It's not like you bought the group any time because they just stood there watching the fight. So why not flee right after you saw them? This renders the whole fight moot. And wow, the whole goddamn team here somehow never met while all graduating from the Prometheus School of running away from things. So this movie has a fat dragon, and the fat dragon seems to only exist to make fun of how fat it is, but also for it to eat the folks our protagonist was about to have to fight. Man, if you're capable of this. Yeah, he's stuck, but he literally breathed fire earlier. You should not be standing around right now. Fucking run! This loot has smashed people in the face and was still playable. I doubt a little seawater will slow its roll.
This is where I leave you.
Zank survives his swim check while wearing heavy armor. Do you know how hard it is to swim in clothes, let alone armor? There's a reason players used to strip before swimming in the first and second editions of D&D. Swim checks were difficult enough to make, but armor was practically a death sentence.
So entire fate rests on you.
Not really. We're going to find out in about 20 minutes that the vault is actually empty, rendering this quest we've spent the last 45 minutes on moot. This movie is really good at that.
Funny thing about magic, it chooses who may wield it.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Bards get magic from the inspiration of music. Sorcerers most likely from ancient draconic bloodlines. Druids through their reverence of nature. Warlocks through a pact with a powerful being. And wizards through decades of arcane study. None of them get magic because magic chose them to wield it. An enchanted item can certainly be selective, but magic itself? Not even a little.
Stop trying to capture it. You just have to let it go.
That makes about as much sense as if you go hard enough left, you'll find yourself going right from Cars, which is to say, none.
You humans, you just can't help but lie.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We humans can avoid lying. We just choose not to because we know all the other humans are lying.
I lost everything that ever mattered to me, and it was all my fault.
Actually, I think there's like tons of blame to go around for you losing the things you love. We could start with your really good friend and teammate Forge, who screwed you over.
Yeah, but the guards would be guarding against people taking things out of their wagons, not putting them in.
I'm pretty sure the guards will guard the wagons from anyone doing anything. Try walking into a bank sometime and putting something in the vault without permission. See if a guard doesn't stop you. Never touch the goo! Both guards failed their perception checks and miss a grown man laying down in a pile of leaves in the middle of the road.
The rules are very simple. 5 harrowing challenges, 5 teams of champions.
Already this feels like the opposite of simple.
There will be a wonderful gift for each and every one of you.
It's a tote bag. I bet it's a tote bag. Actually, scratch that. It's gonna be that red smoke beckoning death spell again. The one from the flashback? I bet my liar on it.
You're gonna get into that vault, okay? Not because you can, but because you must.
This is going to work. Somehow Edgin spots a horde of knights before any of them see him at all, because that's how eyes work. Stuff is happening, and it's clear she's winning, but I'm still really confused, man. Like, does the movie want me to get dizzy and then celebrate because the protagonist gal won? Or does the movie want me to know what happened in the in-between?
I don't mind that.
You should. Just severely weaken the structural integrity of your axe. Wait and see what happens next time you try and hit something with it. Because he stood up for himself, Simon is now a magical badass, and that feels rushed. Why did the spell knock down the guards? I thought it was just supposed to destroy any enchantments. Were these enchanted guards? Enchanted guards. But also, if this blast radius spell did destroy all enchantments, why are their communicator thingies still working? She follows the suspicious people until, oh shit, she's been knocked out. So the movie wants smart protagonists who do smart things, but it is also capable of kneecapping those characters when the runtime demands it.
I'm really sorry about the way things have worked out.
He is not.
But I think if you were truly honest, you'd have to admit I can give Kira a better life.
I did not expect my D&D movie to have this much Gone Baby Gone in it.
They defeated your men and mine. Let them fight in the arena.
Yeah, but why don't you just kill them?
Forge wasn't hiding the loot from us.
He was stealing it for himself.
Aren't those two things basically the same one thing?
Magic suppression cuff. They put one on me too.
Well then, it's a good thing they didn't slap one on Ed, right? I mean, bards have access to spell slots and all kinds of neat magic oh, right. This movie forgot bards have magic.
Yeah, but look what you did lose.
How exactly? The cube dissolves things, which would have just melted the bracelet down even tighter onto Doric's skin. It's not like she stuck her hand in a tub of butter and it slid loose.
I've got an idea. Follow me.
And then they all do, like she's the leader or has a history of great ideas. Forge doesn't see Holga grab or throw the potato. Ah, the beckoning death! Why aren't the fans in the upper decks dead now, since it is supposed to kill everyone who sees it? No! Why are you stopping? In the flashback, last time this was used, that red smoke could stretch for thousands of feet. The people are just right outside the arena. Keep going! You'll take out the main heroes too. None of them have something to counter the beckoning death. Owlbear! But then ultimately the owlbear does a Jurassic Park T-Rex to save the heroes, so that's a sin. Let's talk about this fight. This is a super cool and imaginative way for two magical characters to hash things out, but Maximilian's earthen grasp only has a range of 5 feet, and yet he moves his hand all over the place. Sorry to be pedantic, but actually, I kind of live for this, so I'm not sorry at all. This is CinemaSins. You know what you're getting. Movie forgets the druids have all kinds of spells and uses aside from wild shape. Why isn't Doric hitting Sofina with Ice Storm or Wall of Fire? Hell, use Polymorph to turn her into a bunny and cage her. So Marvel's The Avengers called and wonders why, if you're going to do this, you don't just go the full way and have the owlbear say, "Puny God," after it's done.
That's not a good spot, is it?
I'm gonna say that the breast probably isn't a good spot to be stabbed.
Then you're a good man.
Citation needed.
No fortune found, no fate divine. Go close to choking the drifts of the vine.
I realize she's dying, but these lyrics are literally saying that getting drunk is a better feeling than finding treasure or going to heaven. And I think she's right. Hey, you want to see a neat trick? I bet if I press the skip button, it'll jump to a scene where Holga is alive again. Skip! Hey, look at that. It worked.
Yeah, all right.
Simon, if she doesn't seem all that enthused even when agreeing to be courted, maybe find someone else to court. How many thousands of people live in Neverwinter? Besides, I think the lesbians watching this movie are gonna go ape if you try to keep Doric from their headcanon. Jonathan! Funny gag and all, but given how this played out last time, why would Jonathan ever risk walking within grabbing range of a prison again? Why would you ever leave a prisoner making his appeal for clemency unbound? This is less Forge's fault, more failure of the prison to learn from past mistakes.
No. Frankie coffee cake, no good. I don't want his face looking at that face when he's throwing my dice.
I feel I've been remiss in my duties. I've given you meat and wine and music, but I haven't shown you the hospitality you deserve.
Want to keep water in a pot from boiling over the sides and making a mess?
Cool my lips.
They're too big for your face.
Chinless?
Hey, this is ass, boy.
I said easy, big fella.
Disturbs my slumber.
I'm a bad father.
Puny God.